As a little girl, I think I just dreamt about being a mom and having a family and being married and happily ever after. But that wasn't the case for me. I divorced twice, and I learned that my identity is not necessarily on what society says a woman should be. Like,
is it comfortable? No, it's scary as hell. I don't know what's at the end of that 10 feet. That scares the hell out of me. But it scares me to not go as well. Welcome to Own the Room with Pam and Gayle. This is a place where we sit down with very accomplished women and find out about their journey, not just about their accomplishments, but how they got there.
Today we're sitting down with Susan Cardenas, and she's a broker associate with RE/MAX Success in Visalia. She's a top producing Central Valley realtor and community leader as well.
Yep.
And most importantly, a mother and a grandmother. Welcome, Susan.
thank you for having me. It's such an honor, honestly. It's a privilege. Like I said, Gayle, when I first met you, you just made me feel welcome. So.
We're so glad you're here.
And it's so nice to meet you, Pam.
Well,
and
thank you so much.
The time
Yeah.
we spent together has been great.
Thank
knowing
you.
you, ladies.
I appreciate that. Your accomplishments are very impressive, but what we want to know today, and this is what we hope to accomplish today, is to find out about the woman behind Susan Cardenas. We know that you have a story. How do we know that? Because all women have a story. Well, everybody has a story, but we love to hear it from women that we're sharing our journey with. We understand that you had a father who was an immigrant, raising a family, investing in property, creating a successful real estate career. This is not just having this father, but the things that you've done along the way and how you're helping other families as well. So that's what we want to touch on today.
Oh, okay. Well, it looks like you have a little bit of history on me already.
We do.
Okay.
So your father was
Yes.
very important. Take us back to those early days.
The youngest of 5 siblings. So I have one older sister. She's the oldest. And then I have 4 brothers. I'm the youngest. We grew up my parents immigrated from Mexico. And they worked tirelessly to provide their children a better life than what they had. And they did that. All I can remember is my father always teaching us to be good people and make a difference and work hard.
I knew you were going to say that.
I work hard.
Yeah.
They worked out in the fields. They were farmers, and they went from Coachella Valley to the Central Valley, wherever there was work to provide. So we were constantly moving. But the one thing that I can say about both my parents is that they worked hard, and that's what they taught us.
Setting that great example.
Yes, yes.
Growing up with a very hardworking mom and dad, and what else? What did you take from that besides learning to work hard? Because there had to be other lessons of grit, or what you wanted in life, or how you saw your own future. What did that look like as a little girl dreaming about what your future would look like?
And believe it or not, as a little girl dreaming about my future, I did not dream of what my life is now at all. I still sometimes have to pinch myself and thank the good Lord for where I'm at now. It has been a long road and a long journey, but yeah, as a little girl, I think I just dreamt about being a mom and having a family and being married and happily ever after. But that wasn't the case for me. I've divorced twice, and I learned that my identity is not necessarily on what society says a woman should be. And I'm in a place now where I have been, I've raised my kids as a single mother, and I am now in a place where I don't necessarily feel that that's for me. Maybe in the future, I don't know, but
Yeah. So the hard work. When did you pivot? And as a mom, as your first career, did you have another job after that, or did you immediately get into real estate?
Oh,
And
no.
why real estate?
Real estate just came. It's a second career for me. I was in the dental field for most of my adult life. Became a dental assistant. Worked at the same dental practice probably for a good 20 years.
Oh my goodness! So you had
I
a
went
long
I
career.
went from being a dental assistant to managing the front office, then managing the front office. I treated that business like it was my own business, and I think that's really kind of what I learned from my parents is to work hard and treat people's business as if they were your own. And so that helped me now in my business. Real estate didn't come until later in life. I found myself actually in a very difficult place in my life after my second divorce. Also, along with some health issues, a rare heart condition that I wasn't aware of.
Wow.
And also losing my mother all in like the same year.
Yeah.
And I just found myself having to make a shift in life, and I really wasn't planning on real estate. I had a really good friend of mine that was a real estate agent at that time. And I was constantly reminded about my limits, I think. And I'll just leave it at that as far as like what I was going to do after our divorce. And so I thought to myself, I need to make a change. Where I was pretty much capped out. There was really nothing more for me to grow into. And I've always been the person that loves to grow and continue to expand. And at that time, one of my good friends said, "Hey, you need to get your real estate license." It's a funny story, actually, because I was selling my house. We were going through a divorce. I was selling my house at the time, and I was one of those owners that thought I could sell my own house. Fist bumps. And so, but I started off that way, and when I had my friend hired her to sell my home, she started kind of just planting that seed and said, "You really would be really good."
Meanwhile, you're working as a dental assistant, right?
Yes.
Or office manager.
I'm still managing the dental practice, yes, full time. And so just one day, I just kind of really, after the whole thing fell apart and my marriage, I felt a tug in my heart, and I just heard a voice and said, "You need to get your license." And I'm one person that doesn't like to put things off. And the next day, I did just that. I signed up for classes with Century 21 because I like the in-person interaction.
Yeah.
I knew there was a lot of online as well, but 11 years
you.
ago when I got my license, you were still doing in personal classes. Yeah.
So you were working, getting your real estate license. You had a family. You're managing a home. You're managing an office, and probably taking care of
my mother at that time.
Your mother. So, oh my gosh, you had an incredibly full plate.
Had a full plate, and like I said, I was going through a rare heart condition too, and that caused me to be really tired. And so I did everything I could to just stay awake. So I was working full time, taking my classes. My mother at that time was, very sick in a home, and I would go after work and spend time with her. But
there was no time for Susan in there, I'm sure.
Honestly, time for Susan, that's one thing that I'm just now learning. And to accept that there's time for me, because raising two boys on my own was all about that. It was never about me. So I have finally learned to be good to myself and do things that were for Susan. Yes. So at that time, it just was normal for me. It was what I did.
So you've had your license now for 11 years. Is that correct?
Yes. I'm due to renew my broker's license here in December.
Okay. And so you're just now able to put into place some Susan time.
Yeah, in the last couple of years.
So what have you been doing for Susan time? Like how do you spend your time? How do you spend things to inspire you, to heal you, to give you energy, to have rest a little bit?
That's a good question, because the way we're built, we're just I think we automatically just work. We're at our best when we're just going. It's dangerous for me to get slow, because then I'm just like, drop the ball and just become complacent. But I think what I do for myself now is it's really important for me to maintain like my mental health and spirituality. So I read a devotion every morning, and I do Pilates. And I did. So one of the things that I've loved, I always wanted to challenge myself, is to become a reader, because I was never a reader, and I used to admire, like my daughter-in-law really inspired me, and my sister too. They read a lot, and I never knew what it was to get lost in a book, like they would say. So about a year ago, I challenged myself to become a reader, and I felt like, hey, I could just learn to do this. And I did. My first year, I read about 17 books, I think.
Fantastic.
And then so I decided to form a book club, because I always wanted to be part of a book club. And so now I have a book club, and we get together every 6 weeks. So those are kind of things that I do
that's wonderful.
That you're doing
for myself.
Feed your soul. Yeah.
Feed my soul, and just take little trips with. I have my son that travels a lot with me. He's also my assistant, my TC. So I'm really blessed that he likes to spend time with Mom, and we do a lot of
You
small
guys look
trips
like you're
together.
having a lot of fun when I see your pictures.
We
on
do have a
Instagram.
lot of fun. I think now that he's an adult, it's a lot funner than it used to be. Yeah. And then of course spend time with my grandsons, and they're my joy.
Yeah.
And you have 2 boys.
2 sons.
Now, one of them
Christopher and
works for
Stephen.
you, but the other one doesn't, right?
Yes, Stephen.
So let me ask you this question. So it occurs to you, okay, so you're selling your house because you're going through a divorce. You're no longer a 2-income family. You're a 1-income family. You've got tons of obligations. You have a full-time job. And somebody says you should go sell real estate, you'd be really good at it. And so you decide, because you're not a procrastinator, you're going to go sell real estate. Or you're going to get your license. Okay. So you start selling real estate. When did you take that mindset of I'm selling real estate to I'm creating a business? Or are you in the process of doing that?
No, I feel like I know I have a business, and I have been working on my business for some time. But when I started selling real estate, it all just happened so fast. It learning the process. But again, I felt like it was a great opportunity for me to build something for myself. I didn't like the limitations that I was under, and I felt like it was a good opportunity for me to expand. And I knew that there was more to my life than what I was living.
So you were intentional about growing this business? Or did you learn the business and then at some point say, I need to make a shift and become more focused and become more intentional about how I want to develop this business?
I think I'm still trying to develop my business and still
course.
learning. Yeah. There's a lot of things I wish I would have implemented a lot sooner. But I think I'm in a place now where I feel like I'm working towards establishing that business. And did I always think of it as a business? I don't think I always did think of it as a business. I think I thought of it more of I'm serving my clients. I'm helping people realize their dreams. I bought my first home as a single mother, and that's the same friend that talked me into getting my license, sold me my home when I thought I couldn't do it on my own. So selling real estate was more like I'm helping people. I'm serving.
You were in a
service.
service industry.
Now I think the last maybe few years it's turned more into this is my business. When I hired my son on, and when I took on an administrative assistant, I realized, this is a business. So in a sense, Pam, yes, I think I'm just now realizing that it is a business.
Well, I think that we hit those invisible ceilings in our career, in raising our family, moving on, going through divorces, all of that. I think that although it's invisible, it's very real. This ceiling that we and I've said this before, and I think it's a really good analogy. And one time in my life, I lived in Bakersfield. The valley has changed tremendously. It doesn't have as much fog as it used to have, but the fog used to be incredible. I was just talking about this last weekend. And when I was in Bakersfield, the fog would be so low on the ground, it'd be so dense that you would roll down your window and hang your head out
To
the
see-
window
yeah, I remember
to see
that.
the white line, because you couldn't see but 10 feet in front of you. And I love that analogy, because that's how our life is, how our real estate career is. We have to have that faith that we can move 10 feet forward, and then when we hit that ceiling, it either stops us, or we give ourselves permission to see what's beyond that 10 feet, and we move forward, because that's where we find our successes, in the actions that we take, right?
I love that analogy. That's such a good way to put it. Yeah, 100%.
So
It's I can go further. How much further can I
can't
go?
I can't see
Yes.
the end of it, but I'm going to take the action, and I'm going to move myself forward.
And the intentionality is so important. I'm thinking about a lot of times people will say, I'm not feeling like I'm ready. I'm not feeling like I'm ready.
Feelings
And
are not facts, right?
Feelings are not facts, as I often say.
Yeah.
And we wait for that feeling that this is the time, as opposed to being intentional and making a decision that is based on fact, not when I'm ready. Because like all of us in social media or sitting in a podcast room, we are not feeling ready.
No,
right?
no.
Right,
We
exactly.
all start this journey into things that are uncomfortable, not feeling it. But just like riding a bike, I didn't feel like I was ready to get on that bike. But at some point I knew I could learn the skill. I could learn the habits. I could get to ride that bike because I've seen other people do it. And the importance then of being able to see other women, in our case, become successful in real estate business, not just become successful realtors. We have seen, women, there are more women realtors than men in this industry. We're like 73% of the population
Yes.
are women. But the people that are in the C-suite, and I talk about that often, are the men. So women are waiting for that feeling or that permission. And Pam and I, had to actively give ourselves permission. You gave yourself permission to work hard, to build a business, to take the next steps, to grow. And it's being that intentionality is what really, I think, is what makes us roll down that window, stick our head out the window, and
Watch
see.
that white line.
Don't know where it's going yet.
Yeah.
But we know that it's better than where we were 10 feet earlier.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree.
Puts us closer to where we we don't know why. We don't know why we continue to move forward, but it puts us closer to
growth.
our goal. It's called
It's
growth.
called you're
and
right.
and let me ask you this question: is it comfortable? No, it's scary as hell. I don't know what's at the end of that 10 feet. That scares the hell out of me. But it scares me to not go as well. So I move forward.
And I think too, we're the way we are built. We're women that will take the risk. You know, we could, sometimes just stay in our comfort zone, but it aligns with what you said about being intentional. So, in being intentional and focus, you just stay focused and continue to challenge yourself. I think is a good word, and built what you may not even know what God has planned for you. I know I didn't. I absolutely had no idea that I would be here now. But I'm glad I am.
Oh my gosh, you are the #1 agent according to RealTrends-verified. So it's actual hard numbers. It's not just a claim in Visalia. And it is obvious why, because you are so communicative, smart, you care about your clients, you work hard. Your 11 years isn't a lot of time to have developed a practice as successful as yours. So you are rare, I think, in the industry to be so successful so soon, the #1 agent. I mean, that's
Thank
just
you.
amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah, 11 years doesn't feel like that long. I mean, I've met so many amazing professionals in the business. And when I got that email, I was shocked. I was surprised. And
Email
really
from RealTrends.
from RealTrends. Because again, there's so many amazing agents that did I ever think that I would be ranked #1? I'm like, absolutely
But
not.
take us back to
I
that
looked
moment.
at it, I'm like,
Yeah.
wow. This is
Take us
amazing.
to that moment. So you're opening up your computer or your phone, and you see that. What
It's my normal routine. I wake up, I grab my cup of coffee, and I sit down and I start my devotion. That's another intentional thing I do before I do anything else. Before I look at my phone, before I look at my computer, I want that time alone to
Get centered.
To get centered.
Talk
yes,
with the person upstairs.
positive mindset. But yeah, I opened my computer and started reading my emails, and then I saw that. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Let me see what. When I saw city, I'm like, let me see where I'm at in my city. I had no idea that I would be ranked #1. And when I saw it, I'm like, whoa. It was kind of surreal.
It was surreal.
It was surreal.
Yeah.
It was.
I know it was for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we share that different size teams, different organizations, sort of. But I know for me it was very surreal, and it was, oh my gosh, I can't believe it.
I couldn't believe it because when you're doing what you're doing, we're doing our job. We're just working.
Yeah.
We're serving. We're doing what we normally do. But when you see it and you realize, you're like, my goodness, I did this.
I've accomplished it.
Yes. Yeah. So it was a realization, I think, of the hard work and the commitment.
Yes.
And
It's
the
an
grit.
It's an affirmation.
And Susan, I'm very curious. Who is the first
That's what I
person
was
you
gonna ask.
shared that with?
My son.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Christopher.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
I was the first person she shared it
yeah.
with.
Yeah.
But it's something. It's a shareable moment. You
And I think
wanna,
the reason too is because they see all the madness behind the scenes. So my son and I live together. So I wake up in the mornings, and when I'm walking, saying I need this, I need that. I'm just saying what I need today and what needs to be done, and then he's on the other end. I'm still having my coffee, Mom. Don't talk to me
slow
about what's
down,
going
Mom.
on today. Jeez, I am not built. I'm not like you. So I think that our families, then of course, then we have a group text with my other son and my daughter-in-law. So they're my center. They are everything to me.
yeah.
So immediately we send them a text, and they knew. But they know the madness. They know the stresses, that what goes behind the scenes, because people see numbers. People just see top, ranked number one if we're going to post it on social media. People don't see the
repetition behind what got you there.
the 300 text messages that got this deal closed, the hills and valleys, the low appraisals, the renegotiations, the late night text, the just all the pressure
The
that
sleepless
nights, yes, and long hours.
where you are more concerned about somebody else's
Else's-
property
Yes.
and the money that they're going to get out of it than they are.
100, because you take it so personal.
You do. Yeah.
It's people. This is their most important financial decisions. Whether you're, first-time home buyer, whether you're a savvy, a repeat buyer or seller, or it is one of the most important financial decisions. And to have that responsibility placed on you, you don't take that for granted. You want to deliver the results that they deserve, because they trusted in you. So for me, it's they come first. And again, people see the rankings, they see the numbers, but they don't see what goes behind it to make it happen.
And then the times that we couldn't be with our kids, the mother guilt.
Yes.
And you
You're
as
a
a
mother. Hard to believe you're a grandmother. As I'm sitting here looking at you, it's like I have a hard time even having those words come out of my mouth. But you're a mother and a grandmother. And so how old were your kids when you decided to get your real estate license?
So my kids were grown.
They were
They were
okay.
grown. So Christopher is 36 and Steven's 38.
Wow.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. They are older then.
Yes, I'm a lot older than I like.
Yeah.
Well,
that's shocking.
you must be
I
because
thought he was 22.
My
Yeah.
parents.
I
Another
thought-
thing. Another thing. I'm
That's
grateful
what I was
for my
thinking. They
parents.
had to
good
be in their
genes.
early
You have-
20s.
yeah.
You have great,
Oh my goodness.
great genes.
Yeah, great genes. Great
Wow.
genes. I got my parents to thank.
So
for
you
that.
were when they were growing up. Then you were mostly you were a mom.
I was in the dental fields when they were
in the
growing
dental
up.
field, okay.
Yes. Yeah. I believe I was probably 22 when I
Okay.
became a
Oh,
dental
really?
assistant.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we pretty much grew up together. But I understand, not just in real estate, because back then too, I had to work a full-time job, take care of the kids. They both played sports. I always made sure they were involved. Well, Stephen played sports, and Christopher was more into the drama, and plays and theater and stuff like that. So I understand the pressure of having a full-time job and raising your children and being the only one to drive them back and forth from their events, and
So
then
how
still
did
take
you
care of
do
the
that?
house. And
How do you do that?
You
Yeah,
just-
I
I
mean,
think you just
you're a
do it.
single parent. So now you want to get your real estate license, but you have to have a full-time job to support your family, right? So how did you make that transition?
Did you have family support, mom, dad?
Because we have a lot of agents who come to us who work full-time jobs, and they want out of that full-time job. And we do everything that we can do for them. But quite honestly, not a lot of people make it, to be honest with you. How did you make it?
I decided I was going to do it.
Determination?
I was determination, and I'm one that, if I again, maybe it comes with the comment that I'm hard on myself. I'm always pushing myself.
driving, self-driven.
So I'm very driven. When I commit to doing something, I typically, will go full force.
How long did it take you from the time that you started working as a realtor? You still had your dental. I'm sure you were still working as a dental assistant or in the dental practice.
Mm-hmm.
How many years did it take for you to get out of the dental practice and full-time realtor?
Well, I took that leap really, really early on in my career. So what I did is I was I got my license, and all of a sudden I'm letting everybody know. I mean, I'm posting on social media, "Hey, I have my license now." So immediately, as soon as I got my license, I think within probably the month or so, I had like 3 clients that wanted to buy, and then when my brother wanted to sell. So that was my first listing. But no, was working full time, managing the dental practice. I just had some really good. I worked for some generous employers. They were so good to me, allowing me the time to work on my license while I was managing their
Wow.
business. I couldn't be more grateful for them. They really did. They were just so generous with their
So
time.
they knew what your goal was.
They knew what my
your
goal,
dream was.
and I felt very supported by them. So what I did is I would, be at the office, but on my lunch hours, I would go to a coffee shop, Starbucks, because there really wasn't that many coffee shops. Go to Starbucks and learn SkySlope. I learned SkySlope on my own. I learned zip forms on my own because I wasn't able to make the sales meetings. And usually, like during the sales meetings, when they do all the training,
That's a
and
good point.
I wasn't able. I had a full-time job, so what I learned, I kind of.
How did you learn it? Did you watch the videos? How do you
Well,
teach yourself?
they had a lot of tutorials,
Okay.
but I did. I mean, I would get some guidance, but it was brief because I wasn't present. I was at
Right.
at
You weren't
the
there
dental
to be
practice.
able
I
to
wasn't
say,
there to
"I
be.
have a
I need help.
question." Yeah.
And when usually 6 p.m. when I was done with my dental job, people weren't available to answer my questions. So I would just do it during my lunch hour, evenings, and learned it. I think if you really commit yourself to learning something, you're going to make it happen. You're going to find a way and do it. So yeah, I spend a lot of my lunch hours working on teaching myself how to do it and working both jobs. Evenings I would go to the office. I had the advantage that my kids were grown, so I didn't have any responsibilities. And at the time, I guess it was a blessing that I was going through a divorce because I didn't have a husband at home waiting for my attention. So I was able to just dive in and focus.
Head first,
And
right.
for me, it was just normal to work hard because that's what I've known my whole entire
Well,
life.
that
I've
goes
seen my
back
parents.
to the way that you were.
It's all my
you
parents
were
do it all their
raised.
lives. So
Yeah.
for me, it was just a way
There's
of
no
life.
other way to do it. I move forward and I do the work and get it done. So I hear determination. I hear it takes a village. This is what I'm hearing. You had the support of not just family and friends, because your first listing was your brother's, but you also had support of the people you worked for, the dentistry practice.
Absolutely.
And not everybody is going to be able to have that kind of support. But what did you do, Susan? Did you say, I need to sit down and have a meeting with you? I need to let you know what's going on with my life. How did you rally that support at work? And I think that our listeners would be really interested in hearing what you have to say about that, especially if they're struggling to convert a full-time job into a real estate business.
I think that if you have a relationship that's built on trust and respect,
You had earned that. It sounded like.
I
Yeah.
had. So when I took on this dental management opportunity with the employers that I last worked with, they were going through a lot of turnover, and I think I built that trust with them because I was able to come in and help clean out because of my experience in the dental field. I saw that they were struggling with a lot of their billing and insurance claims, and immediately I just took over. Like I said earlier, you just learn to treat people's, because I had worked at another dental office for so many years and treated that practice like my own. I knew what they were lacking and what was missing. So I immediately, when they hired me to manage their dental practice, immediately cleaned things up and built that trust with them. And
That's a double-edged sword, though, isn't it? Because you earned their trust, but you became so valuable while you were doing it. I mean, the loss that they knew that they were going to have when you left must have felt like really overwhelming to them.
And that just speaks of the generosity.
Yes, it
and,
does.
and the grace that they extended me,
Yeah.
because yes, I think there was a lot of the level of respect was it was that, I think, because we both respected each other so much. I love them so much, and I was so grateful. And I think they were grateful that I was able to get them back to speed and also help with the hiring process during the time of
I
my
hope
transition.
you've sold all their homes and new homes to them.
Actually, he did. He did give me one of his rental properties to sell, Dr.
Of
Bueller.
course.
Yes. So it
Well,
was.
Part of you, Susan, is your philanthropy, your community involvement. You love your community.
Love my community, yes.
So let's talk a little bit about that. How did you get involved, or where do you start? Or you're already busy selling houses, being a mother, being a grandmother. How did you add that to your bag of tricks?
Right? I don't know. I just like to add more things to my plate
Yeah.
as if we're not busy enough. For me, it was purpose. I felt that I was so driven and focused in my business and selling and growing, but I felt there was something missing. When I've always raised my kids in church and was always very involved with church. I stopped going to like a regular Sunday service, but church, always lives within me. But I think because of that, I felt that there was a void because I was always I served at my church. I was an usher. I was always volunteering for this or that, even as a single mom with my kids. And, on Fridays, most dentists' office are closed on Fridays. On Fridays, I was that room mom. I was there volunteering. So when I started selling real estate, it was just so busy, and we're just work, and learning all these, like all our systems and what it's going to take to grow our business. I felt that there was something missing. I really miss being part of the church family, and I really missed giving back, I think is what it. So I felt like, yeah, this is wonderful. This is great that my career is going so well, but why do I feel there's something missing? Mm-hmm. And I started to look for, I also always tithe at a church. So I'm like, okay, I need to be giving back. This is just not what, I'm sure, this is not what I'm here for. There's much more. And community was important to me. I wanted to give back to the community that was giving so much to me. So I kind of did my research, and there was one of the ladies at Remax, Maria Helm. She had some history with Habitat for Humanity, and I love everything they stand for. I love their mission. They're faith-based, and I went and knocked on their door and said, "What do you need? I'm here to volunteer." And I started off as a volunteer, just helping with events and fundraisers, and then it just grew from there.
And today you are what with Habitat?
Well, I just recently stepped away from my role. I was the board chair.
Okay.
And I was on the board for, I'm going to say a good 4 or 5 years. Prior to that, I volunteered probably a good 3 years. So good history with that. But as I transitioned into growing my team, hiring an administrative assistant, there was just a lot of too much on my plate. Mm-hmm. So at this point, I just...
Well, something so loud for me is coming from listening to you talk. It's community, faith, and family being the three legs to your life. And I think if our listeners walk away with anything today, it should be those three things that you have made such a priority in your life: community, family, and faith. And I think that's a message for all of us, that without any one of those, we topple over, don't we?
100%. Yes.
Yeah.
I have a motto that I live by, and I always say, if I have joy, I have everything. And that's why, faith is so important to me.
Yeah. Because if you take away one of those legs, and Gayle and I were talking about this earlier, if you take away just one of those legs, our life feels out of control. And that's why those three very stable things are just so important to a healthy and well-balanced life. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, if I go longer than 3 weeks without spending some quality time with my grandsons, I start to get irritable. I start to feel the pressure.
I love that.
And spending time with them, I feel like resets me. It is one of the times that I'm able to put my phone down and quiet time with it just refuels my soul. And then I'm ready and re-energized. Let's do this.
So you've had lots of successes. You have a wonderful family. What's next for Susan Cardenas?
Travel.
Ah.
So, yes. One of the things I've dreamed of is traveling the world. So I have a trip booked in September
Oh, where are you going?
to France.
Oh,
Oh, how wonderful. So that's your fun.
That is my fun. That's going, yeah.
that's fab. Are you going alone or?
I'm going with 2 other girlfriends.
Okay.
So it's a
Oh,
girl
my-
trip.
How fun. We need to do that.
I know that would be. Well, we do it. We go to conferences all the time.
Yes, we do
Yeah.
that. We do
And
that.
We do little trips. Like Christopher and I have a tradition of doing, like the end of the year, like my bonus to Christopher is a trip. So we usually will do like Hawaii or Mexico or, but this is a dream for me
Oh,
to
yes,
Paris.
that's a dream trip.
I can't believe
Yeah,
it. I'm
it's
so
a
excited.
Dream
Yeah.
trip.
I hear Croatia is a
Croatia
beautiful,
and Turkey.
Yes, beautiful place to
Yes.
be. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the theme of Own the Room is about women in leadership. And we clearly see you are one of those leaders of your
Clearly.
community, in the industry, as a leader in your family and in Habitat and other organizations. When we this is called Own the Room. And Own the Room refers to having confidence that you know who you are. What is Own the Room? Or when do you notice when you walk into a space that you've earned that right to be there?
So that's a really hard question for me to answer because there's still times when I don't feel that.
And that is okay. I
Yeah.
think the way I would answer it would be after it's over.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to say about like feeling confident, and that's probably one of the reasons what I said doing things for yourself is really important, and you have to be really intentional because even just being prayed up, exercise and working out. I mean, that's just a way of building and re-energizing yourself and your body and your mind, and it helps give back. It helps. You're going to be much better servant to your clients when you feel re-energized. But I think owning the room is just that, feeling confident and comfortable within your own self. I mean, I think as women we can be hard on ourselves, but I think being hard on ourselves pushes us to be better, and we're always working on becoming better. I think at the minute we get comfortable where we're at, it's for me it's not a good mindset. I like to be growing.
Well, it's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary. I mean, because when you're a single woman with a family and responsibilities and a career and owning your own real estate business, failure can feel like it's not an option. And when it feels like it's not an option, it's paralyzing. Yeah, it makes you not want to move forward. So there's so much risk involved in moving forward. I don't want anybody to think that we're sitting there going, oh, so I just traded and it was no big deal and I was successful and I have all this confidence and everything. Oh, it is scary as hell,
Especially
right?
in small towns.
Yeah.
I
That's-
love that what you just said. You said it perfectly, because it is scary.
Yeah.
And
How do you fight that? How do you fight that fear?
pushing yourself,
Moving
just
forward.
moving forward.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no other option, because like you
Failure's
said,
not
the
an option.
minute that you do, you become paralyzed, and becoming paralyzed is dangerous. It's not good for you. It's not good for your mental health. I've gone through life feeling less than. I mean, there's been so many times in my life, just being a single parent and walking into that church by yourself without their father, it was really difficult for me. Walking into the parent teacher conferences, walking into any event, family events, weddings, and being alone as a single woman with your children, it wasn't easy. And to be able to walk in a room now and be comfortable with myself, and now this is me. We are our own individuals. We're not. Our identity is not who we're standing next to. Our identity is within you. And I feel that I have really found that this is me. I don't need anybody else next to me. I'm thankful for the people in my life. I'm so grateful for my family, my kids, my siblings, my friends, but at the end of the day, I'm comfortable with me. I'm proud to walk in a room by myself, a meeting, an event. I'm okay.
That's when you own the room, girl.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay.
That is so true.
Yes.
And I think it takes also so much courage to walk in the room when you don't feel comfortable with yourself, but it's like I tell the agents all the time, and they'll go, oh, you're so good at these scripts. I'll go, that's because I've practiced them 10,000 times. That's how you become a master. How do you walk into a room and own it? You don't the first 999 times, but maybe that 10,000th time is the magic, when the magic happens.
It's when you know who you are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's when you know who you are. And I see that so clearly in you.
absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you.
So
It's been a great ride.
we appreciate you coming and joining
you.
us today
Yes,
for
so
Own the
much.
Room with Pam and Gayle. And Pam, you ready?
I'm ready. Take it away.
Susan, thank you for your time. Thank you to our audience for joining us today.
And by the way, I'm not ready because I'm enjoying this conversation so
I know.
much.
I wish we
but
could
I
just
know it's
sit down and talk some
I
more.
I know where she's going, so I'm going to let her go there.
Well, so we will continue having these conversations.
I look forward to it.
And
yes.
hopefully we'll have you back to the show, Own the Room. That leads me to, we are going to be coming to Visalia. Own the Room with Pam and Gayle is coming to
Yes.
Visalia.
We're so excited.
Wonderful.
So excited.
Can't wait.
On
I hope I get to be part of that.
On Wednesday, October
bet.
7th, at the Visalia Country Club.
Wow.
And you've heard it here first, guys. Susan Cardenas is going to be one of our, will be involved with Own the Room. And
Fun.
so come and see us on October 7th and keep watching for more announcements and tickets. And if you know anyone that would benefit from this segment today of On the Room, get to know Susan. Please like and subscribe to Own the Room with Pam and Gayle, and let any of your friends know that we talk about all things women, all things leadership, all things real estate.
And where do they get this podcast?
And you can get this podcast on your favorite Apple podcast or wherever you get your podcasts, or on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
see you next time.
All right.